So what I wanted to talk about in this video was just about kind of linking geographical theories to your investigations. So with your NEA, the kind of expectation is that you have some kind of geographical theory that underpins what you're wanting to do. Now, initially that sounds really quite scary and quite challenging, but I think what I would like to kind of get across to you is that as geographers you already know the geographical theory, and sometimes the really difficult is actually just identifying and saying, oh yeah, no, that is a geographical theory, not just kind of common knowledge. So to use the example that we have been talking about today with King's Cross, what you can see behind me is we have been looking at the idea of regeneration, and that would be the kind of geographical theory that we talked about in my introductory video about kind of sparse decline, why areas need regenerating, and what regeneration actually looks like, and how you might assess a successful kind of regeneration project. But there are lots of other theories, so it might be that you're looking at something like spheres of influence, looking at kind of the kind of influence that different places have, how far people travel to access services. That might be something to look at. You might be wanting to look at geographical theories around place theory and actually the idea of place identity. Place theory is quite an interesting one to look up. Land use, so we talked about land use mapping in one of our videos, but actually there are models around land use. So things like Burgess and Hoyt and those kind of land use models. There are more up-to-date ones as well, but actually you might want to look at how the area you're looking at fits that land use model. So there are all these different geographical theories that you can look at and actually kind of investigate how what you are looking at fits that model, or to what extent it fits that model, or even just underpins the thinking. Now, I would suggest if you are at a stage, which you all are, where you have actually thought about what inquiry question you would like to do, then you've already got a bit of an idea about why it's interesting for geographers, and the geographical theory underpins it. However, if you're not sure, one of the things that I would do that would be really worth doing is actually looking at some geographical publications like Geography Review, at articles about kind of areas, and actually seeing if it mentions the geographical theory. There will be links to geography. A geofact file, for example, will make reference to the geographical theory that you could investigate. So you do need to, before you kind of storm ahead, be sure you know what geographical theory you would like to do, but you also want to think about kind of maybe finding kind of articles about it, so you can draw kind of more details on that, and maybe get some ideas about how to record that. There are other ones like gentrification, studentification, those kind of theories, which again you're like, well, absolutely, I know about gentrification, but that is a geographical theory. So if you're unsure, you've got a wording ahead, have a bit of a look, see if it's mentioned in publications, and see where it kind of comes in terms of kind of geographical theory. But you need to have an idea. If you're thinking about coasts, for example, a kind of physical field work study, then again there are kind of management models that would be your kind of theory underpinning it. And we talked a little bit today about the idea that these models already exist, and actually with coastal studies, for example, those geographical theories are actually used to inform coastal management. So where you are looking at coastal management, there will already be work around those kind of theories, and coastal management will be kind of put in place for following those theories. Equally with water and flooding and things, equally there will be kind of theories, geographical theories that people follow, like runoff rates, storm discharge, that kind of thing, that inform how people respond to flooding events and water events and things. So that's the kind of looking at a model, looking at a theory and building it. We talked about models, I've talked about theories, talked about models, things like Burgess and Hoyt, land use models, spiral of decline, the multiplier effect to be another good one to mention if you're looking at an area that's on the way up. So these are all things that you could kind of incorporate and should incorporate into your NEA.